Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Chad GTM Podcast. It's Chad, Horne, and Michael Beck coming to you live from the MURTEC 2026 show here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the beautiful Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino. And we are blessed to be joined by somebody who's an industry luminary, a tech guy that is super smart about technology and rolling out solutions that other people are just kind of dreaming about right now. Mr. Davoyan with Dave's Hot Chicken, one of the most sexiest, fastest growing brands in the country that's just really burning people's mouths and delighting their tummies with delicious chicken. Leon, thank you for coming on the show in our very intimate, dark environment because we're in a power outage right now.
We are. Thanks for having me. And by the way, are you open to joining our marketing team?
100%.
That introduction couldn't be the furthest from the truth, but thank you.
All right, get Brandon to call.
I love it. I feel like we should have flashlights and tell like ghost stories right now.
Let's get some flashlights.
So, Chad, lead us in.
All right, so there's a lot of...
Hey, we're back.
We got power, baby.
And we got skin tone.
All right, so we have to start topically here. How do you address redundancy with your technology for your operators?
Well, everything we do at the foundation level is redundant, right? So as it relates to network connectivity, we made the investment so that we have that redundancy at the core level. Mm-hmm. And same thing with our POS and KDS system, right? We built in some level of redundancy so that if the network cuts out, you're still making food in-house, right? You're still accepting credit cards and all that stuff. So the foundational piece is all redundant, right? Anything on top of that, I mean, you can't go redundant all the way up,
right?
But at least the foundational piece is redundant, so that you can continue operating. You never have to close your doors.
Right.
Had to ask because the power outage. Okay.
Yeah.
It was right on time. So last week we were in Venice Beach, California. Nice. One of your partners had a launch event for one of their autonomous delivery solutions. Well, I do want to talk about them. I want to talk about Dave's and how you look at, and you guys are really thinking in the future and actually embracing it, the different modalities of delivery and some of those things you're looking at now. Where are the places you're playing?
Well, here's the thing. So when we look at technology, we look at technology from a very simplistic standpoint, right? We've tried first party delivery at a prior brand. And what we found is that although it's incremental, what it does is it causes more problems and it adds to, your admin team to basically manage all the refunds and all that stuff.
Right.
And so although first party delivery works, it's just financially not profitable.
It's another job.
Yeah. So then, and the reason for that is because you have a third party person that's grabbing the food and then disappearing with it, and then it ends up with the guests. And you don't know what happens during that process, right? They could be hungry, or maybe the temper sticker is put on a little bit, crooked, and the guest feels like, oh, this guy got into my food, or maybe the bag crumbles because there's this big gray area, right?
There's definitely an X factor in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we figured, okay, we want to do first party delivery, but we're not doing it with a human in the middle, right? We're not incorporating it. So then what do? You embrace autonomous, right? But it has to make sense. The thing has to go from point A to point B and not end up blocking the traffic when there's an ambulance trying to pass.
Stuck in a tree?
Or stuck in a tree or whatever, right? Flipped over on the side of the road.
Right.
So what we're looking for what we started looking for is basically a Waymo, but like a little cooler that's that operates like a Waymo, right? Okay. It knows what a tree is and a bush is, and it goes on the street and it's able to go 20 miles per hour. And so we went down that journey, and then we also discovered that, okay, we can also do this with drones, right? And so we started looking into drones, and last October, we did a test at our Northridge location where we flew food for an entire day.
Wow.
And so the secret sauce with drones is that for what it takes a delivery driver 15 minutes to go from point A to point B, it takes a drone less than a minute.
It's as the crow flies. It's a little linear, right?
I mean, the propellers spin, and then a minute later, the food's right there on your front lawn.
Wow.
And the magic there is that the food is so fresh. It's as if you walked up to the front counter when your name was called, You grabbed your food, ran to the table,
Right.
and started eating. It's like super fresh, super hot. So that inspired us to even go to double down on drones and autonomous vehicles and stuff like that.
Right.
Because it allows us to do first party delivery without the risk. And if something goes wrong, we know that it's a robot. You can't get into the cooler, and if you do, we don't want it delivered. Right. So it's like it takes that entire gray area that we had, and it makes it very predictable.
How does that affect cost?
Well, I mean, listen, everything that's new costs more,
Sure.
but humans are the biggest cost, right? So when you're removing that human element out of that delivery,
Yeah.
it ends up being a wash.
Well, yeah. Well, what if I've seen videos on YouTube of nutty, third party delivery drivers that had a bad day. They were lighting up their customer, and now the brand is being blamed because of that experience.
Yeah.
You get to keep your customer a little closer in that way, right?
Exactly. And we don't get to pick who that third party delivery driver is, right? Sometimes you get, or most of the time, you get this guy that loves what they do and they're happy and they're a 1099 employee, so they can work whenever they want, however they want. And sometimes you just get that guy that's, like you said, that's unhappy, and they're an extension of your brand.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to make sure you can't turn a delivery driver away. Right. So it takes that element out of the equation.
Got it. Chat.
So, Leon, I'm sure a lot of brands listening to you are going to think, we don't have the ability to even think about autonomous delivery right now. We've got so many other fires to fight and things to do. So what are some of those things that you guys had to get right before you could start exploring autonomous delivery?
It's interesting because there isn't very much of a barrier to get into autonomous, right? Because we've gotten to a place where even the third-party delivery providers are testing autonomous.
Yeah.
For instance, Coco has a partnership with Uber Eats, right? So all you have to do is just tell Coco, hey, I want to deliver with your robots through Uber Eats. And then a bunch of robots show up at your doorstep. And then, now you're doing third party delivery using the robots, and it's at zero risk, right? Because when there's an issue, they're going to Uber Eats and saying, hey, where's my food? It showed up 45 minutes late, or it looks like the robot toppled over because my food looks like a bowl of salad.
Sure.
So it allows you to get in there and to test it out and to learn, right? Because there's a learning curve, right? Like, you can't just have a robot show up and then have your operations like run it efficiently, right? So it allows you to get through that learning curve, operationalize it so that your team isn't having the struggle, and you're doing it at the cost of the third party delivery providers. And then when you're ready to bring it on first party, then at least you have the experience, you know exactly what it takes. You can set your hours of operation so that you're only delivering during like the law. I mean, it gives you so much control, but you have to, if you want to go into it, and you should, because it's a thing, right? Like, as time progresses, you see more of those coolers on wheels that are like running up and down the sidewalk. So someone's doing something, right? These things are delivering food. So sooner or later, it's all going to be coolers on wheels or drones just flying up in the air.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And it seems like the form factor plays a lot here, right? If you have 5 delivery drivers and cars of various sizes showing up, that's 5 parking spots.
Yeah.
Or they're circling the building.
Yeah.
These little robots, I imagine, fit 5, 6, 10 of them in a parking lot and not have it disrupt so much the footprint of the restaurant outside, where guests who want to dine in or people who want to come in. Is that a true statement?
Well, it is, right? Like, I mean, parking is an issue, right? It's an issue. It's an issue with every restaurant everywhere, right? Yeah. Because you want to have an adequate amount of parking spaces in front of your restaurant so that you don't turn away guests. Because sometimes, like, it's not a problem for me. I'll park wherever and then walk over, right? I like walking. Right. But some folks just want to park in front of the thing, run in, get their food, and run out.
Yep.
And so those parking spots are gold, right? It's as important as having enough tables in your dining room, but not too many so that the restaurant looks empty, right? So, so it's that magic equilibrium, right? That you have to achieve. But yes, parking spots are very important, and you don't want those delivery drivers to take up those parking spots. But they're also very important, right? Because they're drumming up. It's business, right?
Yeah.
They're still bringing in business. So
It's a balance.
So it is a balance,
Yeah.
and we don't. We don't have designated parking spots like away from the restaurant for the third party delivery providers or anything like that. We love those guys.
Yep.
And in fact, like we, oftentimes we'll give those guys a drink or like some food if they
That's
look
awesome.
because what you learn is that there's probably a handful of delivery drivers that are just constantly coming back day after day,
Yeah.
coming back and doing deliveries. So you end up building a relationship
You
with
make
them.
them a fan, and now they're going to take care of your food.
And they are an extension of your brand, whether you like it or not. So, so it all works out. But yeah, parking spots are very important. And the coolers on wheels don't take up parking spots because they're like on the sidewalk or like next to your front doorstep or wherever you want to load the robots.
So, since you guys are such an innovative brand,
Are we?
you are. You really are. I came up at dinner last night. I was asking a guy, hey, who do you look? He's a VP of IT at a brand. Won't say which one.
What's the brand?
I'll tell you after. He's like, who do you look up to? Who do you look up to in the industry? He's like, good thought. He's like, and he said, maybe Dave's, right? And you. So, who do you look up to in the industry from a technical leadership?
First of all, I'm honored and humbled, right? Because we're just doing what everyone else is doing, right? We're out here in the exhibit halls. We're looking at who's new, that's doing something that makes sense for the brand, and who's existing that's like driving the ball forward and coming up with new stuff, right? So, I just don't see myself as an innovator. I see myself as somebody that brings in new technology that makes sense for the brand. But I really look up to everybody, right? It's not like, McDonald's is big, so we're going to look at what McDonald's is doing. But I'm always looking, right? Have it be a mom and pop concept that's like, that's bought technology from another mom and pop technology concept, that's like doing something that's cool. I'm always shopping and trying to see how the pieces of the puzzle fit into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And oftentimes our guests tell us what they want from us. You know what I mean? And we made the mistake of testing out voice AI at the drive-thru. And we're like, voice AI is great. And it wasn't about removing labor out of the equation, right? We've put kiosks in every store. You know what I mean? And the idea was to never remove that labor. It's so like our thought process is that you make computers do what computers do well so that the humans can focus on what computers can't do, right?
Add value,
which is like focus on the guest.
Yeah.
So we did this voice AI thing and we didn't really think about the guest. So we put it in and we crushed industry records as far as like plating autonomous, like order taking and everything like that. And so we're sitting there celebrating. Suddenly our guest sentiment scores went down. And we're like, well, what the hell happened? Well, we looked at the comments. Every single comment said, love the food, get the effing robot out of here. So we killed that project. It was highly successful, but we killed the project because we're here to take care of the guests.
Well, then was it really successful?
And then it wasn't, right? In our minds, it
dropped, right?
In our minds, it was, right? Because now the drive-through person is listening in on the conversation, but they're not busy at the POS ringing something in. They're filling the cup. You know what I mean? When someone orders a Coke, they're now filling the cup. They're helping order accuracy at the drive-through. Now they're able to just check to make sure is everything there.
Yeah.
They open the clamshell, see like, this person said no pickles. Did we mess it up and put pickles? So that's where we diverted our labor to at the drive-through.
Right.
And so it was working really well for us. But if our guests don't appreciate it, then it's going out.
I have to ask a follow-up question because it's been a big topic of late, and you'd be the right guy to ask. So it sounds like there wasn't a translation from the brand experience you want everybody to have a day to the drive-through, even with the use of technology. How do you guys do that generally, making sure that brand experience does show up with all of these new technological touch points? And that would include the autonomous experiences.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw our Coco robot at
I did.
At the
I know he did.
Oh yeah, you did. So the Coco robot at
the Dave's robot.
Yeah. I got lots of pictures.
So that's those are some things that we do, right? Obviously, I can't graffiti someone's drone, or you know what I mean,
Right.
But we, with those things, we try to translate the brand as much as possible, right? It's like, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a cooler on wheels. You can only do so much. But with voice AI, are non-negotiable, because there's a lot of voice AI players out there,
Yes.
right? Our non-negotiable was that the system had to have a personality. It had to be
Yes.
witty. You know what I mean? And so we made it before we launched. We made sure that you can like mess with the robot, ask it questions. Like, I wanted our voice AI system, for someone to flirt with the voice AI system, because our demographic is young, right? So they're going to try, they're going to try to mess with it.
Yeah.
So I said, I want this voice AI system to humor the guest for a second and then bring him back to ordering. So, so you could flirt with it and it would flirt back at you. And then it'll say, well, how about that order? Let's get you back. Let's get you out of here.
Right.
So that's how we do those things. We try to incorporate every bit of the brand into what we do, even if it's like a tiny, like, sprinkling of the brand, just so that it feels like it's Dave's.
Makes sense.
So, Leon, did you pull voice AI, or you had it updated with the humor and wit and things that you kept in place?
She gone.
Okay.
She gone.
So then my question is voice AI dead in the water for you right now? Or is there a hybrid approach where the voice empowers maybe it's somebody that's doing a line busting function and it's being their coach or their adjutant as they're doing this process?
I'll tell you what we're doing with voice AI.
Yeah.
The voice AI agent that's doing the talking is dead, right?
Okay.
Until the population gets used to talking to the voice AI agent. And I think
Diffusion of innovation at this point, right?
Like, I think the allergy towards voice AI at the drive-thru has a lot to do with the auto attendants. When you call for customer service and you can't get a human, and it's like that frustration.
How many times do you scream the word operator until somebody comes on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was, I feel like that was the problem, right? With voice AI at the drive-thru. But what we're doing now is that we go, okay, these folks want to talk to a human. I understand. So why don't we have the voice AI agent or the AI agent sitting in the background?
Yeah.
The drive-thru person is still taking your order and greeting you, but they're not in front of the POS ringing up the order. It's the AI agent in the background that's capturing everything and ringing up the order.
Got it. So there's your accuracy, because it's hearing everything.
Right. And then maybe prior to sending the truck to the kitchen, then that drive-thru person glances over at the POS, makes sure that everything's rung in correctly, repeats the order to the guest, sends it to the kitchen. So now you're talking to a human, but the robot's doing the work behind the scenes that the robot can do to sort of help that flow.
It feels like something that you could tie into loyalty on preferences. Like when you get into Uber, it says, how do you want do you want comfort? Do you want to be talked to? Do you want loud or quiet? And through loyalty, you can say, are you okay with an autonomous order taker? Can that help you? Is that something you guys thought about?
That goes in all kinds of privacy problems.
That's probably true.
And expensive systems to identify that guest. But one thing that we were talking about, I belong to like a Nest group of like CTOs. One thing we were talking about is like, we all know about the California privacy laws, and they're, it's gonna be everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
So we're talking about, well, when somebody wants their data deleted, and you have, not AI generated, but when you've identified them with a camera, their license plate or their face or whatever, right? We don't do any of that stuff, but when you do, because it's going there,
you've got to have compliance.
How do you delete it? You can't delete
that's
video.
Biometric law at that point.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to stay away from that stuff because that could suck up your entire day. And then you miss the ball on innovation, right?
Especially in California.
So the vision AI stuff, we're staying far away from. Identifying the guests just magically like that. It's a tough one.
I hear you. So off the path of tech for a minute, although I do have one more question there, but let's see if we get to it. I know that you said you had, before we hopped on, you had a very popular item that you released, and it was going bonkers. Tell us about your new menu item.
So we released this thing called the Hot Mods. It's basically a cheese plank that we basically spice with the Dave spice. And then you can either get it like that, the way it is with a side of ranch or Dave sauce, or you can get it in a slider, right?
It's like surimi or something, like the fried.
It's like a mozzarella. It's like a mozzarella plank that's breaded and deep fried. So it's also a vegetarian option.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the cheese pull on that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's the spot on the strip havoc because we're not far.
Well, here's the thing. It may. So what happened was that we launched it last Tuesday, and by Thursday, most of our stores were out of stock.
Wow.
And so now we're trying to replenish stock. I mean, it's just, we didn't anticipate it going bonkers like this, but it's like when like social media marketing or like user generated marketing is a real thing, because what ended up happening, we were soft launching it. We were even talking about it. Right. And so all these influencers just willingly, without us paying them or anything like that, they started making these videos about, look at this cheese pull. You know, Chili's, you have to watch out. There's a new king in town with these things. And so suddenly everybody started flocking over to the restaurant. Wow. And we ran out of product.
Wow.
I mean, it's something to celebrate. It's sad that we ran out of the product, but it's a celebratory moment for us because it's like it's a big hit.
That's beautiful. Chad, I know we got to land the plane here in a minute, but I got one more question.
You ask it because we got to run.
Well, we're at a trade show here, right? And there are flocks of tech companies here that are trying to get attention from people like you, right? And I always like to help them because that's who our customers are, and people that are selling software solutions. I see so many ham-handed efforts to talk to a CIO and go, let me tell you how I'm going to change your life and make everything better, right? And the look in your face tells me you've heard that a lot, right? What advice would you give these really, well-meaning people that are just missing the mark, that just march up to you? And even when I got you at the show here, I think you're starting to sell you something. Like, oh, yeah, I say turn, right? Like, I hope he doesn't get me. And it's okay because I know it happens so frequently. Yeah. What would you say to them if they're listening?
God, I have so much feedback. I don't think we have enough time. But, it's a lot of stuff happens at the show, and I get it. If I was in sales and I see my target, I obviously I'm gonna go in, right? I'm gonna go kamikaze style and try to get that person's attention. But oftentimes what happens is that you're already talking to somebody, right? And you're like very engaged. And suddenly a salesperson comes in and cuts in front of the person that's talking to you and just like as if that person doesn't exist and starts talking. And it is very awkward for someone like me because it's like, I might be talking to another CTO, I might be talking to another salesperson, but it's like, man, just and other salespeople are really good about it. They'll just, that they stand in your peripheral and they don't interrupt. And then right when you're done, they jump in, which I appreciate more.
Situationally aware.
Just I know you want to sell, but just like don't cut people off because even if I was going to buy because you're representing, we talked about representing your brand, right? Yeah. You're representing your brand. And if you do that kind of stuff and you're rude, because it is rude, right?
It's 100% rude.
When you're rude, you might lose the sale. And I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it's happened. Yeah, I'm sure it's happened. So just be patient.
Take your time. Yeah. And it is also start with how are you doing that? Hello. Don't worry about jumping right in with both feet, right?
Right.
Let me tell you how I can say, well, how about some questions? What are you guys working on?
Sometimes they feel like they have 10 seconds to make the pitch.
That's true.
And so they make the pitch. And then they ask you how you're doing.
It happens. Chad, anything before we land the plane here?
No, this has been awesome. I want to get Leon back to the show because he's going to be on stage here soon.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you, gentlemen. This has been Leon with Dave's Hot Chicken. My camera apparently really likes him because it just wants to zoom in on Leon. See, I told you, once it locks on to you, it's got you.
It loves the shiny forehead.
The camera
it sees a shiny toy. It's my forehead. It's like, let me see what that is.
But for now, it's Chad GTM Podcast signing off here at the MURTEC show. This camera's making up its own decisions right now. See, the AI's taking over.
There you go.
No, see, AI just likes Leon. I think that's what it is.
It's like, pick me.
I think it just wants a squeaky chicken back at home that you autograph. But for now, everybody, thanks for joining us here at MURTEC. We'll be back with another episode of Chad GTM Podcast, and we're thankful for Leon, who my camera keeps on zooming on. It's cracking me up. Leon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one for sure. Where are you going to be next? So people run into you if they want to interrupt you in a hallway in a good conversation.
It's going to be a secret. I'm going to keep it a secret and show up last minute.
It's like a ghost kitchen drop, right? It's like, hey, it's a pop-up. We're doing a pop-up Leon today.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody, we'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned for more Chat GTM and MURTEC coming right at you after this.